Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand spanking new episode of MovieKombat. This is the season finale. This is, and if you're wondering, oh wow, you look exactly like how you looked in the Captain America episode, it's because we recorded them at the same time. I was sick last week, and I'm going on a vacation, and it just all timed up where we had to do a double feature for the live recording, which means if you wanted to watch the live recording, you should have been here on twitch.tv/Primal_Target to be a part of that. And then you could give your review and be a part of the PT Nation's seal of approval. This episode, we are talking about this movie, The Avengers. This is I guess the most fitting way to end the phase one is to put all of those characters and throw them all into one giant movie. And that's what we did. So we took all of them, and now they're here. This movie picks up where Thor left off. So we've gone back in the last episode in Captain America. We went back in time to World War II era, and then we have now jumped back forward, and we have been now caught up to where Thor was. This is now following that movie. So in every single movie, I like to keep track of some stuff, and that is how many times does the superhero name get said. In this one, there are so many superheroes in it that we're going based off the title. And that is how many times does the name Avengers get said in this movie? How many times does Avengers get said in this movie? The other thing is there a superhero landing? There is one superhero landing. Walk away from an explosion? Weirdly enough, lots of explosions in this movie. There's none of them. None of them walk away from him. Superhero character gets a kiss. Which one is it? Is the question. And now I'm trying to think. Oh, that's right. It's Tony. Tony is the only one. He gets one. He gets the one kiss in the movie. So, how many times, Preacher, Foxy, does the name Avengers get said in this movie? I'm waiting for you guys to answer that one. While they're doing that, the Stan Lee cameo timestamp. When does Stan Lee show up? He shows up the latest he has ever been, 2 hours and 10 minutes and 12 seconds into the movie. He shows up, finally. And then extra stingers at the end of this movie. There are 2 of them. This is the first time we've ever gotten 2. One of them is, oh God. What's the one stinger? Oh man, I'm trying to think of what happens at the end. Well, there's the one that happens at 2 hours and 22 minutes and 14 seconds. That is when they are eating shawarma. That's just them. And then 2 hours and 15 seconds into the... What do they do? I can't remember what happens. I can't. Man. It's going to kill me, so I have to actually bring up the movie here. Let's see. What happens at the end of that? Do. Oh, Thanos. Thanos shows up. I was like, there's a pretty big important thing that happens, and I can't remember. Yes. So 2 hours, 15 seconds. No, 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 10 seconds into the movie is our first stinger, which is the first ever shown Thanos. And that is a little teaser to what is to come in the MCU, the Infinity Saga. But we're just talking phase one. So that is Thanos does get in phase one. He is there at the very end. 2 hours and 22 minutes and 14 seconds into it, they are eating shawarma. That is the very famous shawarma eating scene. So I asked, how many times does the superhero name get said, which in this movie is the Avengers, because they're all superheroes. In Preacher said 4, Fox said 3. It's said 9 times is how many times I heard Avengers. So That is where it is. It's said throughout. Different people say it randomly, but that's where we're at. So, how was it? How is the Avengers? To me, it is. I mean, it's a really good movie. Like, it is the hype. There was the amount of hype that this movie had when it came out. It's so hard to even capture that again, which they do again, and then they do it again, and then they do it again. So the thing is this, to see years, because remember, Iron Man, the first one, came out in 2008. The Avengers came out in, I believe, 2012. Yes, 2012. So 4 years of movies we had to wait for this to come out there. So I remember watching this in theaters with my dad. It was and might still be one of my favorite movies of all time. Yeah, this is a pretty good one. The thing is the reason why I feel like this movie, to its core, is good is you have this as your cast. This, one of the characters we've seen in 2 movies. One of the characters we've seen played by already 2 other people. This is now the 3rd time that someone is playing Hulk. You have this guy who just had his movie, and then you have down there Thor, who had a pretty respectable premiere on his movie. So, and then you have these other mini characters, Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick Fury, Jeremy. I was gonna say James, like I knew him. Jeremy Renner playing Hawkeye, and then you have Scarlett Johansson, who everyone knew before this movie, playing Black Widow. So the thing is like this is an all-star cast. To have them have the amount of screen time they had without making it seem that one person had a more screen time than the other. You had a main villain who we knew already, Loki. This is now a returning villain that we've not had watching all of these movies. This is and Loki is a great villain. Like it, I mean, Tom Hiddleston playing Loki is possibly just one of the best castings, just because like now you really can't see anybody else playing Loki. He just does a really good job. It's sneaky, conniving, how to twist someone's buttons to a point where it's like he's that good at being an ass, and that is him. You saw a theory for Loki. Well, and that's the thing is like eventually Loki's going to get his own series, and so in the timeline and whatnot, this is a very big moment in this franchise. It's a make or break. If this movie does not work, we do not get another 20 years of it. So it's like another 15 is actually more probably accurate. And that's what's crazy. That's what's crazy about the Avengers is how well you now and it's just how well each character is written. Why each character doesn't like each other makes sense. Why some characters like each other do make sense as well. Because you see Iron Man and you see Tony and Bruce, they pair off in the comics. That's exactly what they do. They're both like science. They both like building things out of nothing, and they just know. They're very smart human beings. So they're great together. Then you have that sort of beginning of a little bit of a disagreement of how things are being ran, because Captain America sees himself as a captain. He was in the military. He is a United States Army veteran. Like he knows how to lead, and that's in his brain, second nature to him. Then you have Tony, doesn't like that. Doesn't like being told what to do. He didn't like things getting even handed to him, as we've established in 3 movies, because it's said in this movie as well. So you see a little bit of that, little bit of drop there of that. Those 2 characters do not like each other very much. You have Thor that is a little bit on mutual, like nulled on everyone's plane. But also a lot of people just don't even understand what he even is. So he's kind of in his own realm, literally, because he's a god. He's a demigod. He's this otherworldly being that the humans cannot understand who he actually is. And then they just know, hey, your brother's kind of a tool bag, and he's threatening to destroy our world. So we need to figure that out. And then you have Nick Fury trying to essentially herd the cats that are the Avengers together, and he just does whatever he can try to do that. But this movie just does it so well, where it never feels like someone's getting out of hand over here, where it's like, oh yeah, I forgot, yeah, Hulk is in the movie. No, you knew Hulk was in the movie, and when eventually the Hulk actually shows up, the fighting is even down to its like key components of being paired off against somebody. Hulk would kick the snot out of a lot of those guys. Going up against Thor for as the first battle, that's a good battle. You also get a Captain America, Iron Man bickering back and forth, but then eventually have to go and fight Thor because they just have to get Loki back. It just does this little like, here's the thing. These guys happen. They fight. They don't like each other. They'll figure it out. They figure it out. They're friends again. Oh, and now they're going to fight again because they have a disagreement because they're still learning about each other. And then we'll get them back together again. It just does it so well. Joss Whedon did this movie. And obviously there's current things about Joss Whedon, but whatever. Back then, Joss Whedon doing the Avengers, this was like a big deal. And yeah, I just feel like with a movie that has as many people as it does, it's very hard. And it gets even harder when they start getting more and more characters in the movie, because then you have to incorporate like, okay, how many minutes wow. How many minutes does this person get on screen? How many minutes does this person get on screen? And it really has to make sense. Because if it just feels like, oh, Tony Stark's on screen because Robert Downey Jr. is getting paid the most, so he has to be on screen the most. You're gonna be, as the audience member, you're gonna look at that and go, that this is really lame because this doesn't make sense of why he's even here. But this movie never feels like that, and this is the first time we're getting also introduced in the MCU that there are otherworldly beings that exist outside that are coming here, that know that the planet exists, and now think, and they even like make reference to the fact that like I think, is it Nick Fury that maybe even might say that, where he like that they feel like they're outgunned, the planet does, but or no, Thor, I think Thor says that, where it's like, oh, man, what's his line? Essentially, he's bringing that, like, you guys are now on the level of war with that people, or no, maybe it is Nick Fury telling Thor about it, but yeah, that everyone on these outer worlds and whatever are gonna look at planet Earth and now are gonna realize like, oh, you guys can fight. We're gonna come and fight you now because you guys aren't as small and dainty as we thought you were. So this is kind of that first time we're seeing it. Obviously, like I said, back in the extra stingers part, at 2 hours and 15 minutes and 10 seconds, we get Thanos for the very first time. So that is a call to a character that will not show up for, I think, another, no, not 10 years, because that'd be 2020. When did this come out? 2022. So no, but another maybe 8 years. But no, like the actual battle with like the Avengers and stuff like that. But yes, Guardians of the Galaxy, Thanos does become a thing. I don't think Josh Brolin was cast yet. I think they were still figuring out. This also, I actually saw a TikTok of this just recently. This is a different Thanos that we eventually see. So this is like a one-time, very comic book accurate looking Thanos. He's a different shade of purple. He has glowing eyes. It's a little bit of a different look at this character, and to come back and look at it, not in a review sense of things, but it was just interesting to come back and look at that for a first time in a long time. is, yeah, this Thanos is totally different. So that's something to look at. All right. Well, since we're going to look at something, let's look at some IMDb stuff, because I like to go to this thing called the IMDb Corner, which is just going to the IMDb website and take a look at some of the cool things that are about this movie that maybe we don't know. Yes, the movie came out 2012, 2 hours and 32 minutes. Let's take a look at the taglines. There is one tagline to this movie. Remember, taglines are things that get slapped on the movie poster when you're walking up and down the movies, the movie theater, and you see the poster and you're like, oh, that's an interesting tagline. And there's words there, and it might sell me on the movie, it might not. This one is simply Avengers Assemble. And that's it. That's it. So there is that. Now, Cap says that, right, in this movie? Does Cap? I don't remember. Now thinking about it, I don't. Did Captain America ever say Avengers Assemble in this movie? I don't think he did. Does anyone remember? I don't, like, I'm trying to think, and I don't remember the point in this movie. Yeah, the one of the most famous lines, like, he doesn't say in this movie, which is kind of interesting. All right, whatever. All right, let's take a look at some trivia about the movie. Avengers. Robert Downey Jr. kept food hidden all over the lab set, and apparently nobody could find where it was, so they just let him continue doing it. In the movie, there's an actual food. That's his actual food he's offering, and when he was eating, it wasn't scripted. He was just hungry. So there you go. You don't think he says it until Ultron? I don't know. I can't remember. Because, yeah, when that was one of the things, is like to count how many times Avengers was said. I don't remember him saying it. So, I don't know. All right. Here's another one. There were very few times that everyone was in town at once, but on one night when they were, Chris Evans sent them all a text message reading "Assemble," the tagline for the movie, promoting a night out on the town. Clark Craig has stated that this is his favorite text message that he has ever received. Who is that? Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's Agent Coulson. No, that's Jeremy Renner. Preacher. Coulson is Clark Craig. All right. Joss Whedon explained that two of the founding Avengers members, Ant-Man and Wasp, were cut from the script because the film had too many characters. Also, the screenwriters didn't want Ant-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe until his movie was released. So they were already thinking of Ant-Man, and they just decided, give him his movie, and then we'll put him in the movie. We don't want to just, like, shoehorn him in, which they pretty much almost did for Captain America, so whatever. To prepare for the role, Agent Clint Barton, who is Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner was trained by Olympic archers. Director Joss Whedon later stated that he never gets tired of watching Hawkeye shoot arrows while looking the other way. So there you go. He may have actually knew what he was doing. Clint Barton, who is Hawkeye, is an ambidextrous archer. Although Jeremy Renner is left-handed, he is seen shooting right-handed in Thor 2011, but both left-handed and right-handed in this film. All right. There's some more stuff in there, but I'll let you guys kind of go there, look at that. Let's see what else. There's some goofs. Let's see what some goofs are. Around the 1 hour and 22 minutes, when the helicarrier starts to go down, Nick Fury tells Iron Man, quote, "Stark, we're losing altitude," end quote. And display inside Iron Man's faceplate is counting down from 15,000 feet. A few minutes later, when Fury glances at a display on the bridge, it is counting down from 18,000 feet. All right, a little bit of a continuity goof. Let's see, what else is there? Around the 47 minutes, after Captain America stops Iron Man and Thor from fighting, Thor knocks Iron Man behind him a good distance before hitting Cap's shield. But when the dust settles, not only does Iron Man wake up pretty much next to Cap, he is also in front of Thor somehow. That it was weird. I did find it really weird when, like, so Iron Man gets thrown very, very far away. And then when Thor slams his hammer on Cap's shield, a big explosion happens because of the reaction of, like, the hammer hitting it. And then Iron Man wakes up, he stands up, he walks like 2 feet, and then Cap's there. And then Thor walks in from, like, the left, and it's really weird. It's just like it was jarring. I did notice that too. Okay, we move on. Let's see. Crazy credits. There is a scene partway through credits. Marvel character Thanos appears, and the other by his side. They are both looking down on planet Earth, while with Thanos smiling, stating that they underestimated Earth. The Marvel Studios and Paramount Pictures logos are seen within the Tesseract. I didn't know that. There's a scene after the credits. The Avengers are, eating shawarma, the same one Stark mentioned at the end of the battle. The scene was originally only included in the U.S. version of the film, but was later included in the international DVD/Blu-ray releases of the film. Okay, all right. Okay. By the way, the where the Paramount and the Marvel logos show up is in Tesseract in the beginning of the film, I guess. I don't know. I didn't fucking notice that at all. Okay. So, release date May 4th. This was May the 4th. Before it was May the 4th. May 4th, 2012. And it was $220 million. $220 million estimated. It opening weekend made $207.4 million. That's crazy. Gross US and Canada is $623.3 million. And gross worldwide was, strangely enough, oh my God, no. Gross worldwide was $1.5 billion. Billion. The first B we have seen in MovieKombat. Jeez Louise. I don't know in MovieKombat. Specifically since we've been doing them here on Twitch. $1.5 billion. There's more. That is insane. That is grossed worldwide, is how much they made. So needless to say, the movie was a success, and they did a pretty good job. All right. Now comes the part where we give this bad boy a review. So, for those that are new, that are watching this for the very first time, the way that we do things here at MovieKombat is everyone that is a part of the chat will get to vote on how they feel about the movie. What would you give out of 10 based on the Primal Target scale? Here, I will chuck that here. Copy. And paste. Based on this scale down here, what would you give out of 10 Avengers, the first movie? And when that happens, like when you give that, we will base that average into a final score that will be a PT Nation score. I will have my own review, and I will have my own score, and that is how it will not affect what you guys will vote for it. So anyway, the thing about this movie is, it is the first to be the Avengers. It is the first time I had ever seen something that was at the scale at any cinematic anything. It's unlike anything. And I watched Iron Man on its premiere. I watched, the Incredible Hulk. I don't think I actually watched Incredible Hulk on the premiere. I did watch Iron Man 2 at its premiere. I watched Thor on its premiere. I watched Captain America opening weekend. To see them to see movies, multiple movies of years, 4 years, come together and get crammed into a storyline into this magnitude was unlike anything I've ever seen before. Is there some things that I do think that could be better? Yeah, I do. That's why I can't give it Preacher. I can't give it a 10. I don't think it is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece because, I mean, it is a great movie. It is a great, 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 great movie. But like, I have to look at it in the perspective of it not being 15 more years of this. I have to look at this specific movie and what is becoming before it. Does it do things better than Captain America? Yeah. Does it do things better than Thor? Absolutely. Does it do things better than Iron Man 2? Yeah. Does it do things better than The Incredible Hulk? Yeah. So the only other thing is Iron Man, which is a 9 out of 10 is what I gave it. This movie is better than Iron Man because you just gotta take it better than Iron Man because it is all these characters plugged into one, and it's done very, very well. And for that, I give it a 9.1. It's not very much better than Iron Man, but I think it is definitely a cinematic icon. Being itself is the Avengers. There's a lot of scenes in here that are used in a lot of things, and it is the I guess I don't know what would you call it, the stencil of superhero movie team ups. Like DC wishes they could have made something like this. No other comic book anything has ever done anything like this. No other franchise has done anything like this. And to consistently do something and then to consistently make a movie good throughout the entire film is very, very hard. This does it. 9.1 out of 10 is what I will be giving it, and that's how we'll go with it. Foxy, you gave it a 6.9. Preacher, you gave it a 10 out of 10. A 6 out of 10. Sixes are rough. That's rough. But yeah. Let's go ahead and total that. 6.9 plus 10 plus 6 divided by 3. Oops, that's not dividing. There we go. Divided by 3. That is a 7.6. 7.6 out of 10 for the PT Nation. I didn't check IMDb. I'm actually curious. The Avengers has an 8. So there you go. So you guys aren't too far off. 7.6. I'm a little bit higher. Gave it a little bit higher, 9.1. But anyway, that's gonna be it for season 5. It's over. We've made it. I guess now we have to rank everything. I totally forgot about that. Let me just get a new one here. And let me get everyone's scores. Okay. So, Iron Man. We gave that let's see, that is a 9 and an 8.3 for you guys. The Incredible Hulk. Hulk got a 6.9 from me, and then from you guys a 7.3. And then Iron Man 2 got a 7.7 from me, and then from you guys gave it a 6.5. All right. Thor got a 7 from me, and then a 6.7 from you guys. And then last episode was Captain America, and I gave that a 7. And then you guys gave it a 6.9. And then with this one, the Avengers, I gave it a 9.1. Divided by 7 points. Or no, it's a 7.6 for that. So Avengers. All right. So, how did we do at the last one? Did I just average them? I think we just like record. Oh, okay. I see what happened. All right. I think we actually kind of like agreed. I think is how that. So in, well, I don't know. Or maybe we do based on the average. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. I think we've changed it every single time that we've done this. So 9 plus 8.3 divided by 2 is that. So 8.7. And then, let's see here. 6.9 plus 7.3 divided by 2. Okay. 7.7, 6.5 divided by 2. Interesting numbers that I'm seeing right now. I won't reveal them just quite yet. 7 plus 6.7 divided by 2. That is 6.9. And then we had 7 plus 6.9 divided by 2. 6 point... Oh. Rounding up, that gets a 7. And then 9.1 plus 7.6 divided by 2. Okay, 8.4. Okay. So my vote does carry a little more weight for it all. But, yeah, we do need to crown the top 3 movies from you guys. We'll do it 3 different ways. Because we might have 3 different winners. But the main winner is the last one that I'm going to say. So the top 3 MCU movies based off the PT Nation are Iron Man, the first one. That's with a score of 8.3. That was in first place. In second place, the second highest rated from you guys is Avengers. And in third place, it is The Incredible Hulk with a 7.3. Now, the score based off of mine is a little different. Number 1 is Avengers. Number 2 is Iron Man. And number 3 is Iron Man 2. Now, with that said, based on the average of both of our scores together, in last place with a 6.9, the worst MCU movie based off of both of our ratings is Thor with a 6.9. In second to last place, with a 7, based off of PT Nation and my score, is Captain America, the first Avenger. Tied for third place, because, I mean, we could do like, the fourth, but whatever. I'm not going to do that. Tied for third place, with a 7.1, is Iron Man 2 and The Incredible Hulk. Both of those movies, which actually, you know what, to be fair, all right. I'm okay with that. Based off of my review and your review, sitting at second place is Avengers, which is wild that movie is in second. In first place with the winner of MovieKombat Season 5, based off of my vote and your votes, with an 8.7, Iron Man is the official winner of Season 5 of MovieKombat. And that is how that goes. So, again, Iron Man with an 8.7, Avengers with an 8.4. Tied for third was Iron Man 2 and The Incredible Hulk. Captain America with those two movies were 7.1. Captain America was a 7 and Thor was a 6.9. So, there you go. That is going to be that. What was this? I don't even know what season this is. Oh, Police Trains and Automobiles. Okay, this is the holiday season. Holiday season. This is MK4. Okay. So there you go. We will decide next stream when I get back from my vacation, when and what we're going to be watching for season 6 of MovieKombat. Remember, if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you definitely check out the link in the below section so you guys can go check us out live on twitch.tv/prime_target and be a part of rating and reviewing these movies alongside us. This season is over, but it doesn't mean that we will never come back to another Marvel phase. We're just going to maybe take a break. I think we'll, so that we're not just binging all of the Marvel movies. We will come back for Marvel Phase 2 probably for Season 7, just to get a little bit of a break in there. But anyway, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this magical journey, and thanks to all that have tuned in on the live streams. And that's going to be it. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next video in the next season too. Good night, everybody. Bye.